We all enjoy movies, but which version do you enjoy watching? Many of us know by now that there are many different ways to watch your favorite movies, but there exist many different versions of popular films on different formats than how they were originally released in theaters. Certain movies you watch might have added something different, whether it shows an extended scene or an alternate scene or something else that was not from the original version. Star Wars is the prime example of movies that have had multiple versions of their films that have been altered, extended, or changed to either enhance the film's experience or to irritate the typical fanboy. Ever since George Lucas first toyed with the idea of adding CGI to his 1997 special editions of the original Star Wars trilogy, he just wouldn't stop. Not just with the original trilogy. Now that Disney owns the movies, they can't seem to either.
McClunky.
If a movie was released in theaters and they decided to release the movie on TV, they might have to change something. Jaws the Revenge, for example, the theatrical cut that was shown on TV has the shark getting impaled by the boat. But on the DVD, also known as the international cut, the shark explodes after being impaled. It reminds me of the TV cuts of John Carpenter's original 1978 Halloween and Child's Play 2. With Halloween, while Halloween 2 was being filmed in 1981, they added some extended scenes that were never even made for the original film. They made some extended scenes to pad the film's runtime. Since it would be shown on TV, the original theatrical version was deemed to be too short because the violent scenes were cut. So, the new footage that was filmed was about 12 minutes long to add to the TV cut. These scenes can be seen in the special featured section of the Blu-ray. But keep in mind, one of these extended scenes would be canon towards Halloween 2, and not toward the 2018 Halloween sequel reboot and its trilogy. So, though these scenes are not attached to any official form of the film on physical media, there have been fan-made versions that included these scenes along with Halloween 2 to make the entire film a 3-hour-long marathon. Child's Play 2 went through a similar way. They shot extended and alternate scenes to meet strict runtime requirements for certain TV networks such as USA and the Sci-Fi channel, because more than likely they did this to also cut out certain scenes, just like Halloween. But as of this video, they have not released these scenes on physical media as a special feature, nor have they released an extended cut of the film, showing these exact scenes and the alternate ending in high quality. Correct me if I'm wrong, but supposedly there was an extended edition that released on DVD, but it's not an official release, and it's very rare. You can watch these extended scenes on YouTube. Unlike the first Child's Play film, that movie's deleted scenes are still considered lost. But Seed of Chucky has an unrated extended version. Now, what were some other cuts of films that were released only on physical media? Terminator 2 has 3 different versions: the original theatrical cut, special edition, and the extended special edition that adds an additional scene that's not in the special edition, and it includes an alternate ending. On the Blu-ray that I own, for some silly reason it requires you to put in a number code to even unlock and watch the extended special edition. Close Encounters of the Third Kind also has 3 cuts to the film: the original theatrical version, the special edition, and the director's cut. It's a great film, but I couldn't even tell you each and every difference from each cut. Personally, I don't have the patience to watch each version back to back, so I can tell what's different. Blade Runner has a few different cuts of the film: the original US theatrical cut, the international cut, the work print version, the director's cut, and the one most people now see as the final cut. It's crazy how one great movie can have so many different cuts of the film, but then again it happened to Star Wars, so why not this film too? Now, I wasn't aware of this until a few years ago, but apparently E.T. also has 2 different versions. It has the original theatrical version with its practical effects, and the 20th anniversary edition released in 2002 that turned E.T. all CGI, and changed some scenes and dialogue to make it more family friendly. Which version did you watch first? Were you even aware of the 2 versions? I could be wrong, but I don't think there's a form of physical media that includes both versions bundled together. I think they only seem to be released separately. Jingle All the Way has 2 different versions that was released on DVD. The original version and the extended director's cut that changes some dialogue and adds some scenes, including a musical segment. It even shows the post-credits scene just as the movie wraps up rather than at the very end of the credits, like the original version does. Lots of unrated versions of movies can add extended or alternate scenes. Jason Goes to Hell, Curse of Chucky, Ted, The Girl Next Door, any of the Scary Movie movies, or all of those other comedy movies, and other kinds of horror movies in general. But the Exorcist movies have had a brief history of different cuts to their films too. The original 1973 theatrical version seemed to be scary and shocking enough when it first came out, But when they released the extended director's cut of what's called The Version You've Never Seen in 2000, they added some unreleased footage that would have been way too shocking for back then. Unlike its sequel, where when it released in theaters, it was so widely hated, supposedly they made an updated version, but it wouldn't make the film any more enjoyable. You're better off watching Repossessed. Or maybe not. But to my surprise, The Exorcist 3 also has a director's cut. Also known as Exorcist 3 Legion, unfortunately this version doesn't make the film any better in my opinion. I watched this cut on Tubi, as it shows alternate deleted footage, but most of the footage is either in black and white, or in color with low quality at a different aspect ratio, and the scenes are not really enjoyable. It's kind of boring. It is interesting, don't get me wrong, but I think I'll just stick with the original version. It's probably like how you shouldn't even bother with the 2 prequel movies. Dominion was finished, but the studio scrapped it and started over, so they made and released Exorcist: The Beginning. It flopped, and they decided to release Exorcist Dominion afterwards. What a mess. Speaking of messes, Halloween Kills has had very mixed opinions ever since it released. When it released on physical media, it included an extended cut that added some additional scenes and an alternate ending. But it doesn't help much. Even though the original ending does seem very abrupt, the alternate, or should I say extended ending, only adds the promise that Laurie Strode is on her way to hunt down Michael Myers as she walks down the hall holding a knife in her hand. But we all know that this is just pointless now. Halloween Ends completely scraps that and throws it out the window as if it never happened. It feels like history repeating itself with Halloween 4's ending that went nowhere, but to me it feels more like Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers with its original version and the producer's cut. Dawn of the Dead also has a couple different cuts. There's the US theatrical cut, the extended version, and the European version. The extended version is exactly what it says it is. I'll be honest, it drags on for far too long than it needs to. I just stick with the original version. The European version cuts out a few snippets of the film, so if you ever care to own this Ultimate Edition on DVD, you can pick your poison. When Rango released on DVD, it included the extended version along with an extended ending. The added scenes are just fine. Personally, I don't think they interfere with the film all too much, but the extended ending feels more like a proper closing rather than the abrupt ending shown in the original theatrical version. The Warriors is one of my most favorite films. The original version released in theaters is the one I tend to watch over the Ultimate Director's Cut. This version gives a more modern look to how the film looks. By that I mean the transitions and even the opening makes it feel more like a comic book, which is okay, but personally I feel like it was just unnecessary. If you want a real experience that feels just as enjoyable and is also really fun, try the Warriors video game. It also includes a few levels that treat the entire movie like a prequel, while also recreating the movie in video game form. Now, lots of foreign movies tend to change the way films look internationally, whether they cut out certain scenes, add scenes or actors that were never in the original version, or they dub over certain actors. In Arnold Schwarzenegger's first movie, Hercules in New York, it technically has 2 versions. One where you can hear Arnold speak, but it may be a bit hard to understand him, and the version where he's dubbed over. Either way, it's cheesy.
Let me be the judge of that. I'm tired of the same old faces.
Let me be the judge of that. I am tired of the same old faces, the same old things.
Other good examples are various Godzilla movies where US versions tend to change how the film looks to North American audiences. When Godzilla released in the US in 1956, they added Raymond Burr as an American journalist, and added a couple other small scenes. King Kong vs. Godzilla adds American actors, which tend to be boring, and even Godzilla in 1984, when it released in 1985 here in America, it adds American actors, product placement, and even brings back Raymond Burr reprising his role. But remember, this movie came out during the Cold War. In the original Japanese version, the Soviets tried to stop a missile from being launched from the satellite.
I have to stop it!
But in the US cut, they make it look like they intentionally wanted to set off the missile. How appalling, right? Gamera's first movie also had a couple different cuts, swapping out different American actors. One has terrible acting, and another that's sort of better, but also feels stereotypical. The Blues Brothers has an extended version. After watching it, it is interesting to see these scenes that you've never seen from the original version, but I can understand why these scenes aren't really necessary to the plot or the runtime. The original Richard Donner Superman movies also have had a couple cuts of the film. The first movie has the original theatrical version, and what's called the Expanded Edition that adds about 45 minutes of footage. Superman 2 has what's called the Richard Donner cut that also adds a few minutes of extended footage. Superman 3 and 4 missed out on any director's cuts, but hey, at least the first Supergirl movie on DVD comes with the international cut and the director's cut. It's either that or the extended cut of Batman v Superman, or Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Daredevil's director's cut. Deadpool 2 has 3 versions, which is more than enough. There's the original version, the Super Duper cut that released on physical media, and Once Upon a Deadpool, which is the PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2. That's like if you were to make Freddy Krueger PG-13. Let's be honest with ourselves, was it really necessary to make this version, even if Fred Savage wasn't in it? Stripes on DVD includes an extended cut. Right on the front cover it says, contains 18 extra minutes featuring 6 deleted scenes. When you watch the extended cut, it shows on-screen notifications that indicate the beginning and the end of extended scenes. Right as you press play movie, it lets you know right away. The indication is not as annoying of an eyesore as I thought, but I do find it rather interesting. Now, there are plenty of movies that have director's cuts or producer's cuts or other kinds of different cuts that exist. Most of them have yet to even release. I even enjoy watching some fan-made cuts of certain films on how they try to enhance or improve the films in their own way. I find them pretty enjoyable and intriguing. Even when bad films try to release extended versions or director's cuts to try to make the film better rather than how they originally released, whether they add new scenes, cut out certain scenes, or dialogue, or even change the ending, sometimes it still doesn't improve the experience for most people. But even some TV shows released on physical media might even include some extended scenes that weren't in the original broadcast or even streaming. Friends has had a couple episodes that did this. Even some episodes of classic era Doctor Who tend to pull a Star Wars by adding updated special effects, audio, or extended scenes to make the cheesy effects look better or to add better continuity. More recently, they're re-releasing The Office on Blu-ray with Superfan extended episodes. Now, does that include The Office Overtime, the webisodes that can be seen online? I'm too lazy to look it up, so let me know. Otherwise, I should just buy both of these together in a bundle. Despite the fact that I already own The Office on DVD, now I have a new reason to buy it all over again. So what are your favorite cuts of your favorite movies? Which ones make the film better in your opinion? What TV shows do something similar? And are there versions that you wish to see released? Only time will tell to see if we can ever see those. I could have done so much more with my life. Could have been a lawyer, could have been a contractor. Could have been a candlestick maker for all I know. But how long is it going to be till I have to talk about you again?